The ferry is the first paddling maneuver we would teach when we get onto moving water. So what is a ferry? Basically, it's a paddling maneuver to get across the river without losing ground. And when done properly, you would end up across from where you started, pretty much horizontal. So if I was to ferry all the way across the river, I would end up horizontal to where I started if I did that properly. We might ferry to get someone on the other side of the river, maybe to pick them up. We might ferry to avoid an obstruction just downriver. We're going to break this technique down for you so that you have a better understanding of how this all works. The first thing that should be noted here is that the paddlers are paddling on opposite sides of the canoe. You are never going to be paddling on the same side of the canoe. Next, you'll notice that the paddlers, well, you might not be able to see it, but you'll have to trust me on this one. The paddlers are on their knees. So when you're about to enter moving water or exit moving water, you would always be on your knees. From the position of being on your knees, it allows the paddlers to tilt their canoe downstream. So in this case, these guys would be leaning onto their left knees when getting ready to enter this current. That's going to allow the current to catch the bottom of the body of their boat or the hull of their boat and kind of try and push them across the river, versus if they were on their right knee, it might catch the hull of the boat and flip the boat, which is what we really are trying to avoid. It needs to be stated and understood that when paddling in a river, the stern steers the boat. They're doing the little techniques like draws and pries to keep the angle of the boat that they desire, while the bow is providing the engine. They're the muscle, they're providing the momentum and the power in the boat. When we teach ferrying, we talk about the acronym MAT, M-A-T, and the M stands for momentum. So the momentum when you're in a canoe is truly in relation to the velocity of the current. So the faster the current, the more momentum is required so that you can move your boat straight horizontally across. The slower the current, truly the less hard or less momentum you require. On the day we shot this video, the river was pumping. It was pumping at over 300 cubic meters per second, and these boys had to work very hard to get this boat to not lose ground. So there was a lot of momentum being generated out of Mr. Sillery in the bow. In our MAT acronym, the A stands for angle. It means the angle of attack for a ferry is approximately 45 degrees towards the shore you are traveling to if there's no visible wave trough. If there's a visible wave trough, you're looking more at a 90-degree angle. So please notice that when they ferry, they are pointing the bow of the boat, yes, of course, to the other side where they want to go, but most notably, it's pointing upstream. So it's almost like they're going backwards, back up the river. So if the boat stays parallel to the direction of the water, the flow of the water, you're not going to move across the river. You're simply going to be carried down the river. You might ascend up the river, but you're not going to travel across the river until you open up that angle a little bit. If the canoe opens up the angle too much, then it'll lose ground. It'll be swept down the river a little bit more than you probably want to. The T in our acronym MAT stands for tilt. You want to tilt the hull or the body of the boat downstream to provide stability in the canoe. So as these two guys are paddling out to the middle of the river, the weight is going to be on their left knee. That's going to allow the current to catch the right side of that boat and push it across the water. When they're ready to come back, they're going to angle their boat back towards the shore where they started, and they're going to put their weight on their right knee now. So as that boat transitions, you have to be very cognizant of changing the weight of your knee to the other side of the boat. So again, that current doesn't catch the hull of your boat and flip it over. Please note the beautiful 45-degree angle in the water that these gentlemen are using to push their boat across back to shore.
Can you canoe on a little boat built for two? Can you canoe? I'll be your captain and your crew. Can you canoe if there's nothing better to do? I wanna float down the river with you. We don't need no outlets, we don't need no wires. Primetime entertainment will be lightning, bugs, and fires. Let's just keep it simple, unplugged and outside. Sound waves on the water don't need to be amplified. Can you canoe on a little boat built for two? Can you canoe? I'll be your captain and your crew. Can you canoe if there's nothing better to do? I wanna float down a river